What's up guys, Cedo Cards here again, another video. Today I wanted to talk to the group about really a number of things. I want to go over the Project K prices that we're seeing, as well as the card prices in Chinese, of course, for the Arcane set. Again, this set isn't due to come out for a long time, I believe in February for English-speaking markets. However, it's good to still see the price fluctuations for the Chinese set, just to see what we are expecting for when it comes out in English markets. Just before we do that, I thought it would be good for us to look again at the current listings for the Riftbound booster box. Again, I think what we're seeing is a healthy thing. We had seen these prices skyrocketing quite quickly. Now we are seeing, as of today, $147. We're seeing the $240, $205. There is a mixture, which is good, and I think this makes sense in terms of a pre-sale. You will have vendors who are selling at recommended retail price, listing their items on eBay. I think this is very healthy, particularly where it is sometimes hard to find the vendors at their direct point of contact, as in their websites. Google doesn't always do the best job when you type in Riftbound boxes, so you often find you are finding retailers listing at roughly MSRP, and you will find the odd that are just trying to milk the dynamics right now of the TCG market. So just give me a moment. So what we are seeing here really is a healthy thing. We are seeing some prices go down. We are also having problematic situations where, of course, we are seeing priced at 240, 205, and it concerns me that people are buying it at these prices. I did miss out this before on the previous video, but we're looking at about 1.5 for the sealed case. So we're looking at roughly $250 per box in that case. Again, it is a case. There is always a premium on a case, so that's not really much of a surprise. But we are seeing prices gradually climb. You do have the odd retailer that is listing fairly, but of course you do have then the vendors that are trying to capitalize on the current market. Again, if you look at the same situation on the UK side of things, I believe this is the same vendor we're seeing on both sides, Damok 13 from the UK. But in other scenarios, we are seeing £150, £148, and again, if you convert that into US, it's looking at roughly about £200, $200. So very much in line with what we are seeing here. So again, we are seeing movement. Prices are climbing steadily. Again, is it a good or bad thing? I'm not too sure. It would be nice to see things quite calm until the set comes out. And at the same time, hype is a good thing. It is good to know that there is a market that is demanding stock and wants stock. And so if it's the case that where people are charging there is an upcharge, it is good that, I don't know if it's good. Good isn't the correct word. But there are positives to it being in such demand. Okay, just before we go to the Arcane set, I did just want to touch on the Project K cards. Now, some of you may not be aware, in fact, many of you will not be aware. Before it was known as Riftbound, League of Legends Riot Games had marketed the project, the card game, as Project K. As you can see here, the UI, interface was very, very minimal. What you will find is some of the cards are reused, as in the the middle picture. They are reused, but for the most part, you do see quite a lot of fresh cards in the current iteration of League of Legends Riot Games' TCG. And we're looking at this this trial deck card from Jinx's trial deck. Looking at 1,200, there isn't, the population is extremely low, and I would advise anyone with a reasonable wallet that is you don't have a mortgage to pay for, or kids that are taking your finances away, I would highly recommend anyone to grab these. Why? The pop for PSA is extremely low because there are hardly any out there in the market. Why is there hardly any out there? Really, the price of the trial decks are just really blowing out of proportion. One sold for about $9,000 some weeks back. It's very unlikely for people to rip these. So these in the market currently will continue to soar, and we'll probably see that as the time goes on. Going on to probably the prized possession really of the Project K set, the jinxleagueoflegends. This is the legend card from the English Jinx trial deck box. Looking at $2,000 for PSA 10. Again, we're seeing 6 pop. Total pop is 10. Hardly any around. If you can get your hands on this, just hold on to it. Don't be silly. Absolutely lovely card. Can't go wrong. It's a good memorabilia for the initial iteration of it. The fans said, "What is this? No, get rid of this." And they took the feedback, which was good. And what they have produced now is absolutely fantastic. I do have some cards. I don't know if you can see too well. Again, it may not be the best quality in terms of the showcase, but you can see the cards are gorgeous. These are some of the legend cards. This is even one of Victor's unit cards. Again, I can't see if you guys can see well. If it's not too good, then forgive me, but there are a number of gorgeous cards out there. If you look at, Kai'Sa, for example. Kai'Sa's gorgeous. Kai'Sa doesn't have as much foiling as other cards, but we have Ari looking absolutely fantastic. So they made a good choice in listening to the feedback of the fans and making changes. But we're seeing 2,000 again, a heavy premium on this. Again, PSA count is so low. Whoever has bought this, in the last 5 days, has done a good thing. It made a very good decision. And again, even within Jinx's trial deck, so this is where you open up the trial deck, you have the Jinx Legend card, and then you have the additional units. We're seeing a Vi in PSA 10 for $800. Again, easy snags. Again, I always recommend buy what you like. For example, we have the Worlds bundle coming out for Riftbound soon. I'm not buying it. I couldn't care less for it. Why? Because I don't really find it interesting. The World's mat. It's a mat. There's a Teemo promo card. Many people will buy it. I won't buy it. I couldn't care less for it. But I would say just buy what you like, and that will take you far. So that's just my take. I mean, Vi, great character, great champion. She's been there for as long as I can remember. Great in the jungle, great character. And we see another box, another card from Jinx's trial deck, and again, gorgeous cards. I'm sure we'll see this again at some point in the current Riftbound TCG, maybe in a future set. We've not seen her in set 1. She's gonna show up again at some point. It's a great card. People will degen and go and buy this card for the sake of unsavory things. But again, it's a gorgeous card. Total PSA 10 free. I would buy this in a heartbeat if this was listed again. If you have the money, I recommend it. It's a good place to store your money. You can't go wrong. Then we're looking at Victor's legend card. So where you open the Victor trial deck, this is the the prized possession. Victor's legend card, $800. I'm not too sure how many PSA 10s there are. It's not showing on this side, but again, I would definitely buy it. We will only see these prices climb as once the game launches. I mean, it's fascinating. It's fascinating because we are not even at the launch date for the English market. And of course, right now we are looking at the English cards. We are not even at the launch yet, and we are seeing such exorbitant prices. This will climb quickly, and I recommend anyone with a wallet that can sustain this, that can grab any of these, to do so. There are many listed. There are some listed, sorry, I apologize. Maybe not for the Project K but there are for the Arcane sets boxes cards, which we go to later. But keep an eye out, just be on the lookout for these cards, because these are, you know, gold mines. Where you see it, if you see this, just grab it, don't worry about it, just trust that it will be fine. Don't stress too much, put your money in this. Worst case scenario, you're most likely able to take out the money you had put in and walk away without much of a loss, without any loss really. So yeah. And again, another one, this is from Yasuo's trial deck. I couldn't actually find the Yasuo PS10 legend card, but you know, again, $600 for his Fortune PSA 10. I have a lot of these in the Chinese. I actually have both the English and Chinese trial decks. English one I'm keeping sealed for obvious reasons. I didn't expect the prices to climb so quickly. I was just hoping to buy it and keep it for a couple of years at whatever price it would be. But now that prices are climbing so quickly, I don't want to touch it. The Chinese one, I opened up all of it. Well, I opened up the Victor, Yasuo, and Volibear boxes, and I gave the Jinx trial deck away in a giveaway in the UK Riftbound Discord that I've created. Links in the bio. Definitely check it out if you're from the UK. We do giveaways all the time. Well, not all the time. We've done a lot of giveaways, to be fair. We've done the Yasuo, Volibear, and Victor legend cards, as we're seeing here, but in Chinese. Gave away the Jinx one also, gave away the Jinx actual Trout, had a spare one, gave away the Jinx Trout deck, the box itself, which contains another Jinx card. What else do we give away? Chinese booster box. We do, you know, we're just trying to grow the community, and where I had bought loads of Chinese stock and I just wanted to rip some cards, I realized, you know, they're not going to be of much use for me once the English set comes out. So let me give it away and start to at least have others in the community have access to the cards. And I think that's it. So we see Arcane as well. PSA 6 pop for PSA 10, kind of $400. Again, anytime you find any of these, just snag it where you can. Volibear, this is a unit. You know, not even the legend. Look at that, $600. So yeah, definitely one to snag. All right, going to the Arcane set. Of course, we're looking at the pre-orders for English. You know, I am surprised by pricing. If we go to the top-ish, looking at, it's a mixture of prices: $240, $250, $260. If we go to actually the English market, you know, we are seeing prices even higher. We're looking at $300 as of £300 as of today. Convert that into dollars. We're looking at roughly $400. It's picking up quickly. These things are picking up very quickly. £310. This was back in the start of October, so we have seen fluctuations, but we have seen as of today, you know, £300. So it's close to $400. So we are seeing an escalation in these prices quite quickly. Again, this is for the English set. Chinese prices I've not checked as of recent. I would imagine they are starting to drop now that the English set has been announced. So I won't really bother looking into those ones. But just touching on the actual cards within the Chinese version, and just starting to get a feel of what we might expect. You know, we're looking at for Vi around $200. That is more or less on brand. $233. There's not many you can find. $240. You know, it is very up and down. This is the PSA 9, so we're seeing $100 for PSA 9. PSA 10, we're looking at about $240. We of course see other. We do see other grading companies, but I think it's best to just focus on PSA, as of course that provides the most premium. So again, we're seeing $180. So we're seeing really, and this was sold just this month, you know, just yesterday really. So we are seeing a fluctuation, but we're seeing between, you know, $170 and $250 for Vi. Now, what do I think we'll see in the English? Honestly, probably I'd say I'd want to say at once some hit supply into the market, probably about 450. Now I think that will probably drop as more PSA 10s enter into the market, but you know, at some point it will only start to climb. You know, it will hit $450/pounds. It will drop to maybe 400, 350 once we have loads flood in the market. And then once that supply starts to dry up, we will just see a quick escalation, a very worrying escalation in my opinion as well. So I think it will hit 450 initially, dip to about maybe 350, and then just start to climb and climb and climb. And if you look at Jinx, you know, we're seeing one sold for $700 as of a few days ago. Again, prices are all over the place. One sold for 450, and you can see PSA, it was the seller. PSA was the seller here as well. So PSA is realizing there is a market for this. We can naturally begin to charge more and more, and we can see the population 181. So there aren't that many as well. There aren't that many. I do think that there will be many PSA 10s in the English set, so that would be one thing to think about. Population will be a lot higher, but it will be also the English version, which has you know, there is a larger market for collecting the English sets compared to, you know, perhaps Chinese sets. So, you know, we're seeing 440. It's a bit of up and down. 589, but we have settled now on a new high, which is $700. So in the English set, we know for a fact this out of the gate will be at least $1,000, £1,000. You know, it's never really a rough one-to-one. You know, if it's $1,000, it doesn't mean it's you know, 800 or however much the conversion is. Maybe less than that. We will see probably around $1,000 and £1,000 out the gate, and that will only climb. I think as more and more people enter into the market, enter into League of Legends, and they see this, it will climb. You know, I think even though we will see more and more entering the market, the natural climb due to the increased demand will just make it that this card keeps on growing and growing. So be on the lookout for this one, because this will cost a lot to have. So hopefully you can purchase a set. Ultimately, I would say grab this now. This is honestly a steal at this price. It's a lot of money to put in, but it will never be cheaper than this. So I do recommend that you just grab a box now, hold on to it, and try grab two, keep one sealed. If you have one, open them up, and try to grade. And honestly, from my understanding, these are being printed in Japan. Japan is known for its high quality. You can't go wrong. I think it's very likely that you'll see PSA 10s. You know, we're seeing here total pop, seeing 181 PSA 10s out of 234. Do quick math. Looking at 77% PSA 10s, that is a good chance. That's a good likelihood, you know, in terms of you taking a risk and sending this off to PSAs. So honestly, and once we start to see some Beckett black labels, you know, I am thinking at least out the gate £3,000, £4,000 black label, and it will only climb. It will only climb. Sorry. So yeah, moving on. We have Victor. Victor, this doesn't really surprise me. You know, looking at roughly 150 PSA 10. Again, it's the Chinese as well. But Victor, as much as, you know, again, as I mentioned before, we are, you know, this isn't the Victor that we've grown to know and love. This is the Arcane Victor, as opposed to the Machine Herald Victor that we've known since, you know, I joined in season 3, maybe season 2 when it was made. I can't remember. This is the same Victor we know and love. It will be carried by the other cards. So because the Jinx card will be worth so much, you'll naturally see the Victor card pushed up as well. I'm predicting £500 PSA 10 for the Victor, maybe 600. Again, it's just not the Victor we grew with, you know, for the last 10 or so years with League of Legends. So yeah, Warwick, again, similar scenario. This Warwick is completely different to the Warwick we've known and loved from, you know, way back when his ult was a point and click, and it was just random, you know. Looking at 110, 119, you know, again, I imagine this would be a solid £400 a PSA 10. This Warwick, you know, the issue is there's no League of Legends fans will have no real attachment to this card. Those that have joined through Arcane, they may like it. Even casual fans, casual League players who have also watched Arcane, maybe not casual players, but players of League of Legends who have watched Arcane may like it a bit, but they know this isn't the work that they've grown up with. So I think this won't hold a premium in the way that Victor will, and in no way in the way that Jinx will. So yeah, Hammerdinger, yeah, I think Hammerdinger will do alright. We're seeing £180, yeah, $180. You know what? It's more or less sitting at 180. I think it would do fine. I'll probably hit 400 as well. Steadily climb, but it will climb slower than Victor, faster than Warwick. But you know, we won't see too much. We definitely won't see too much. Caitlyn, I actually couldn't find many. I only saw this one, PSA 10. And yeah, you know, we're seeing 250. Caitlyn will do fine. You know, I don't know how people feel about Caitlyn's iteration in Arcane, but I think people love the champion enough from League of Legends to just happily pay a pretty premium for it. So I predict we're looking at probably 650 minimum PSA 10, probably even 700 for these. Again, these are the floors. These are the initial prices. I predict they will drop significantly and then begin to climb again slowly. So again, these are just my guesses. I wouldn't take it for gospel. And I showed the Vi, I believe. Yeah, 100 and, you know, it is a mixture. We're seeing 233. We are seeing a mixture of prices for Vi, but she'll do fine as well. Also, she'll definitely do within the 600 realm, 500 realm. She'll be fine. And then I wanted to discuss as well the premium on the sequential set. So this is where someone has sent in all the cards in one go to get graded. We'll definitely see these as well. And you know, the premium people are paying really. You know, we're seeing 1,900, 1,700. If I click on this, I wonder when this was sold. This was sold back in August. You know, 1,900, 1,650, 1,700. We are seeing a premium on top of, you know, buying each card individually at PSA 10. So that's one to look out for. If you have the money for it, when the English set comes out, I'd say try to snag a sequential set like this. Maybe wait a while, but we will probably see this drip feed into the market very slowly. So it's up to you if you want to buy it straight away or you want to wait. I'm not too sure. I don't know what I would do personally. I don't plan to buy a sequential set. I plan to grade some of my cards, but I think for the most part, I would just sit on the box. Because personally, yeah, I think for the most part, I will sit on my boxes. I've managed to, sit on my boxes. For the booster boxes, I will open those and then decide what I want to do with the raw cards I get. But I think for the Arcane set, I think I'll just keep it as a sealed collection piece. And again, we're looking at, you know, 1,900. And lastly, I was just trying to find some cards from the yasuo trial deck for Project K. Could not find the legend card. Found the champion card for 600 and it sold, but I couldn't find much. But surprisingly, you know, we could see for the trial deck, the Project K 2024 trial deck, a sale for $2,400 for the yasuo alone. I saw some time ago the Jinx trial deck itself selling for maybe $4,000. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 4,000. It says 7,000 here, but actually, if I put this into 130 sales, pretty sure it sold for about $4,000. Let's just run it here. Yeah, $4,000. But you know, if we're looking at 4,000 here, yes, well, about 2,400 here. That's what, 6,400 already. Then plus Victor and Volibear, it doesn't surprise me that, you know, we did see a sale at 9,000 for the deck as a whole. if I just look for the if we look for just the trial deck on its own that contains all 4 boxes, sorry, the sealed box that contains all 4 trial decks, I can't find it here, but we did see a sale of roughly 9,000. Here is someone trying to offer it at 50,000. Honestly, I'm not sure what to make of it. I have this as well. I did find this at, for a snag back in April. I don't know what to do for it. One sold for $9,000 about a month ago. At this point, it's probably about $12,000 in my head, 13,000. This is in my head. Honestly, I predict this is probably, someone may buy this for 50. I wouldn't be surprised if someone bought it for maybe not 50, probably make an offer and put down like 20, because I can't even begin to comprehend how few of these boxes are in the wild. So it's definitely a gold mine. I'd keep an eye out for any that show up, but yeah, definitely something of interest. Just give it a search and see if there are any. If we put a minimum of, let's say 2,000, just to block out others. Yeah, just the one really. I'm not surprised. You will hardly see these show up in the wild. I happened to just see one back in April, and I took the leap of faith. But yeah, it's very unlikely. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. We're seeing very interesting things in this TCG, and again, it's not even out yet in the English market. It surprises me. I do hope that supply holds up. I don't want it to be a case that all supply drains up and people start to scalp it. Not scalp it, people start to charge exorbitant amounts. We don't want that for a first set. We want it to get into the hands of the people. We want people to have fun. If price growth comes later, that's fine. It's natural. It's a sign of a good product. But we do want people to actually be able to buy it. We do not want people priced out at the very beginning, because that's when the TCG fails. The game mechanically is sound. It's a solid game. We just want to make sure that there is enough supply to meet the demand. So cool. That's me out. Let me know your thoughts about the prices. Things are spiraling out quickly, but as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want me to discuss next, what you want me to look into. Again, we are 11 days away from the release. I will do some booster box on ripping on the channel, so do expect some of those videos. And yeah, I'm out. Thanks for watching. Cedo cards out, Cedo Gang, Cedo crew, all of that. You guys have a good day, good night, and we'll talk more soon.